Confirmation of your seeding order then for the grand final. Benoit Bincaz will be first to play in section number 1. Then Adam Raga, Jaime Busto, Tony Buck. Already beginning his warm-up. Big gap for the riders who didn't participate in Q2. Even though the last rider out then in Super Pole. No gap at all for Benoit Bincaz, meanwhile, straight from Q2 into Super Pole for the final.
Formato de trial, volvemos a recuperar el formato de trial clásico, volvemos otra vez a penalizaciones por 10 y a penalizaciones si superan ese por puntos, si superan el minuto de crono.
So ahead of us for the grand final, 6 sections to decide your podium trio. One rider will miss out. Round 1 of the 2025 FIM X-Trial World Championship. Grand final of X-Trial Madrid. For the first time since 2017, we have 4 riders contesting the podium places. 6 sections ahead of us. Section 1 for Benoit Bincaz. These concrete modules, brand new outbound direction, the return direction is familiar. Benoit Bincaz there just with his assistant Olivier Brousseau and the observer Jordi Sanchez. That everyone's understood the course requirements here. Long night of varying sections, and of course Benoit Bincaz will have faced all of them. 6 sections in Q1, 3 sections in Q2, 3 sections in Super Pole for the grand final, and now the grand final itself. Wonder if he has a little bit of arm pump by the end of the evening. Long holds. The grand final gets underway with section 1. Benoit Bincaz, first to show. Decent step to kick us off here. Bincaz makes that one look easy. Long series of modules to make it through in just 1 minute. First drop mark of the final, left foot goes down.
Cerco 302 tiempos.
One for leaning there, another for footing. Yeah, the observer initially gives it as 2. The referee overrides him, and correctly so in my opinion. Any further drop marks there will be a failure, and there it is. 5-mark score for Benoit Bincaz in section 1, game over. Only had 12 seconds to go anyway when he failed, so I think it was unlikely that he was going to make it home. The other 3 now know what they need to do. A little bit faster and avoid those dabs. Easy to say, not easy to do. Let's see what Adam Raga shows next time out. Raga will be delighted to have qualified automatically from Q1, to have beaten Benoit Bincaz, his fellow Sherco runner, in Super Pole by some 45 seconds as well. Beats him on time and on observation. Top 4 finish for Adam Raga. Will it be a podium? Chasing his first since X-Trial Bordeaux in 2023 when he finished second. 1 minute. Section 1 for Adam Raga. Nicely done on the landing. We'll need to up the pace, particularly in the return direction. That should be slightly easier than the outbound, so you can afford to use slightly more than half the time, but not much more. And Raga possibly taking too long over this step. He's made it up, but no, he hasn't. His assistant forced to catch the bike, and it will be a 5 for Adam Raga too in section 1. Shame for Raga in the opener. Jaime Busto versus Tony Bowe. Top two in the last two World Championship campaigns. So many times down the years it's been Raga versus Bowe. Last couple of seasons it's been Busto and Marseille, the riders to challenge X-Trials Grandmaster. Jaime Busto given the all clear to embark section one of the grand final, and it's a poor start. One for leaning, one for footing straight away. 2 marks already. Busto, the kind of rider who could turn this around though. Step here that cost Adam Raga. Benoit Bincaz made it through. Jaime Busto, no! Down for a 5. So actually, as it turns out, that was a decent effort from Benoit Bincaz. Raga and Busto have both failed that main step, subsequently to him. Over to Tony Bowe. Opportunity to take a lead over all three of his rivals. Top seed to the grand final. 33.8 seconds to complete the 3 sections in Superpole. So 20 seconds up on Jaime Busto. Top seeding position. The advantageous last starting position for section 1. Failure here and they'll all be level with 5 sections still to go. Any other result, and Tony Bowe will take the lead. Tony Bowe bridging to the next step, which has been the biggest challenge thus far. Stopped Adam Raga in his tracks, halted Jaime Busto as well. Bowe, oh, it's up and easily. Tony Bowe is up easily, and he's completed the outbound direction in 30 seconds. And this could be a clean for Bowe. It could be a 5-mark lead just after the opening section. 15 seconds to go. Has Bowe managed the time element to perfection here? It certainly looks like it. 10. Tony Bowe is clean in section 1. Stamps his authority on the 2025 World Championship with a 5-mark lead after the opening section of the grand final. Still a face of concentration from Tony Bowe. What's the discussion here? Has Bowe missed the exit gate? What's the score? We haven't had the score through yet for Tony Bowe. It looked like a clean. Bowe is furious, gesticulating wildly and remonstrating here with Jordi Sanchez. Well, there's some controversy here about section 1, but we haven't had the result yet through from Tony Bowe. Now he's going to argue. Well, Bowe's making a spectacle of himself here. Takahisa Fujinami on the sidelines, the HRC boss, former teammate of Tony Bowe. Very rarely do you see the observer or the referee change their mind in any sporting discipline, frankly. There is Takahisa Fujinami, shakes his head in disbelief. Difficult to know what the exact controversy is. Just listening into the stadium announcer, and apparently there was a requirement to touch the penultimate block of that section, and Tony Bowe did not. He would have had time to do so. 5 seconds on the clock when he got to the exit gate, so it wasn't a question of the exit gate or anything like that. It was a module that he was required to touch that normally would be stickered, I assume it was, and Tony Bowe didn't touch it, so it's on as even after section 1. The crowd don't like it. Many of them have come to see Tony Bowe, the hero of this discipline. But Bowe did not correctly complete the course in section 1. And we move on to section 2 with all 4 riders on 5 marks. So, get out of jail free card for Bowe's 3 rivals, because it did look like he had snatched the early lead and in commanding fashion as well. Well, the atmosphere couldn't have got much more lively, could it? But it's simmered up now. Calming down for section 2, which gets underway for Benoit Bincaz. Brand new direction for the grand final. This is the only section to be completed in one direction. All of the others are outbound and inbound directions. Oh, and Benoit Bincaz just flies straight out of the side of the section, couldn't get the bike stopped. So back-to-back failures kick us off for Benoit Bincaz in the grand final. So an opportunity for Adam Raga to move clear in the podium places if he can make it through section 2. Not as though he's had much of an opportunity to learn from Benoit Bincaz, is there? Bincaz didn't get very far. Adam Raga up and running in section 2. Failure in section 1. Crucial step of section 2 coming up, where his teammate Benoit Bincaz just failed. Raga. E2 flips out of the side of the section. That's a technical challenge, that. The riders have got to make that mid-air turn, 90 degrees, and land the bike. Raga at least was able to more or less stop. But ultimately, he too flips out of the side of the section. So, even between Bincaz and Raga at 10 marks apiece. High difficulty level in the grand final, as you'd expect. Nobody's made it through any section yet. Jaime Busto for section 2. Only extra winner other than Tony Bowe last season. Took honours in Tallinn. Oh, and Busto's landed it superbly. Receives a round of applause from his team boss at Gas, Albert Cabestan. Twice the winner here in the Palacio Vista Alegre, Albert Cabestan. Hoping to hand the baton over to Jaime Busto as a winner at this venue tonight. 30 seconds. Busto well on his way to taking an important advantage early in this grand final, particularly over Raga and Bincaz. With 20 seconds to spare, we wait for confirmation of the results, and it is given as a clean. So Busto leads Raga and Bincaz by a 5-mark margin. It wasn't tidy on that turn and the subsequent landing, but it was clean. Tony Bowe next up. Needs to match that clean of Jaime Busto now to avoid slipping into second place and down the seeding order. And if both riders clean, the time in this section 2 is also relevant. Oh, Tony Bowe is down! Tony Bowe is down in section 2! And Jaime Busto leads Extra Madrid by a 5-mark margin. 4 sections still to come, but a shock failure for Tony Bowe after his main rival just cleaned the same means that Bowe, Raga and Bincaz all sit on 10. Jaime Busto is your leader in Madrid. Tony Bowe now discussing with the championship promoter, Bernard Estripot of S25. would imagine still talking about section 1 because there was nothing wrong with that section 2. It's just that Busto made it through and Tony Bow did not. And you could see the celebration from Albert Cabas down in the background at the time, just around the edge of the arena here. He knew that was an important moment for Busto. Can he defend his lead now? Section 3. Benoit Bincaz still first in the seeding order after 2 failures apiece for him, Raga and Bow. Some discussion going on here. Section 3. Should be a repeat of section 3 from Q1 and Q2 now added together back to back. We've seen these metal cages before. First step, possibly the most important. Here we go. Benoit Bincaz hasn't made it through a single section so far. Lone Frenchman, otherwise it's Spanish Grand Final. We are underway. Benoit Bincaz. 1 minute. Section 3. 2 directions. Single mark for leading to make it up that first step. 15 seconds used already. The rest of this outbound direction should be relatively straightforward for Bincaz, but now, of course, there's even more time pressure than there was earlier in the night. That's good. First challenge completed. Now the turn. It's back into the section with 23 seconds remaining. Another mark there. This time for leaning. Again. Less than 10 seconds. Bincaz is not going to have enough time here. Left foot goes down, right foot goes down. It's going to be a failure anyway. And now the klaxon will sound as Benoit Bincaz is expelled from section 3. And it's a hat-trick of failures for the Frenchman. So for the third time tonight, Adam Raga has the opportunity to move ahead of him. Sherco riders tied. Adam Raga embarks on section 3. If he completes this section, he moves ahead of Benoit Bincaz. Makes tough work of that first step. Only a single mark for leading though. Return direction, he needs to save as much time as possible to get back. Good progress thus far. Okay, needs to nail the turn quickly and straight back into the section. The biggest step is still to come in section 3. Here goes nothing. Adam Raga goes for it in one fluid motion. Will take a mark for leading. 15 seconds to go. He needs to race now. Not worth taking your time. Less than 10. Right foot is down. That's 3 marks. 3 seconds. And no, it will be a failure for Adam Raga in section 3. So 10 sections we've had of this grand final, and we've only had 1 completed. This is an extreme level of difficulty. And it's going to go down to the narrowest of margins to settle extra Madrid. Bincaz 15, Raga 15. Next up will be Tony Bow. Change in the starting order. Was top seed coming into the grand final after his Super Bowl performance, of course. Busto put in the better performance last time out. And section 2 leads the way. Against the advantageous last starting position. Tony Bow has got to get the best possible score to keep the pressure on his rival. Section 3. Good work on that first step from Tony Bow. And now is where the speed comes into play. What's he like halfway through? 40 seconds, so he's about 10 seconds better than either Binkaz or Raga through the outbound direction. That could make all the difference. The main step still to come. Here it is. Just over 20 seconds. Oh, he's already in position for the main step of section 3. Bo looking to recover 5 marks. Can he become the first rider through section 3? No! Oh, and he's down from a height as well. Bo frustrated with himself there. Obviously felt that he was close to the top and he wasn't far away. And it's the 3rd consecutive failure in the grand final. How often do you get to say that about Tony Bo? And he looks to be in a little bit of discomfort as well. So 10 marks now behind Jaime Busto. How many of those will Busto need to get through section 3? Is there a way back into this X-Trial for Tony Bo? As Jaime Busto's section 2 results given him an insurmountable advantage. Not even halfway through this grand finals yet. But Busto is down at the first arc. And that really is a surprise. First step of section 3. All 3 of his rivals made it through there. So Busto's lead will be restricted to 5. That's a missed opportunity for Busto to have a real good go at that section. Bo will be relieved about that. Bo and Busto practically head-to-head there on the arena floor. As we wait for section 4 coming up next. 5 marks separating our 4 riders, as they have since the end of section 2. Busto on 10, the other 3 on a maximum 15. Section 4, these wooden crates. Outbound direction was section 4 in Q1, return direction section 1 in Q2. Binkaz just positioning his assistants. 15 marks thus far. Neither he, nor Adam Raga, nor Tony Bo have made it out of any of these sections. Section 2, theoretically the most achievable, certainly the shortest. The only one any of the riders have made it through so far. Benoit Binkaz into section 4. Swift work in the outbound direction. Still more than half of the time remaining. Return direction. Looking good for Benoit Binkaz, 30 seconds. Jaime Busto, the only rider to have completed any sections of this grand final so far, and we're up to section 4 now. Less than 20. Binkaz, who was so fast in Q2, to make it through to this final, now only has 10 seconds to make it to the finish in section 4. He stammers, but he's home. The referee gives it a nod. It's a clean in section 4. Now it's up to Raga and Bo to match that. Binkaz only just making it home on time. It looks like this could be the most accessible section of this grand final. That means that any errors here will be punished very severely. Veteran Adam Raga, 3 failures in his pocket as well, but to be honest, if you're tied on with Tony Bo, you can't really feel that you've done too badly, can you? Section 4. Outbound direction, completed successfully clean, and more than half the time remaining in his pocket. High scoring X-Trial. This is important now for Raga. He's got to be quick, and he's got to be clean. Otherwise he risks slipping into 4th in the standings behind Benoit Binkaz. May slip behind him in the seeding order anyway here based on time. 14 seconds to go for Raga. He's home. Nod from Josep Punti, who's obviously been given the instruction to check the exit gate carefully. 8 seconds to spare on the clock. To clean for Adam Raga. Didn't catch how many seconds Benoit Bincaz was left with, which will decide the starting order between the two of them because they're both still tied on 15. And Tony Bowe will be looking to go faster than them to keep his place in the seeding order. Section 4. Hasn't been much of a risk to Bincaz or Raga thus far, so this section's just about avoiding errors. And Tony Bowe is unable to do so. And marked for leaning on the first step. Tonight is unravelling for Bowe. He's going to drop to 4th place. This is unbelievable. Return direction now for Bowe. Well, I hope he's saving something special for sections 5 and 6. Tony Bowe missed out on the podium places altogether at the penultimate round of 2024 season. First round of 2025. And he looks set to drop out of the podium positions with 2 sections to go in this grand final. 15 seconds on the clock. Bowe is home in section 4. We wait for confirmation of the result. It looked to me like a mark for leaning, and indeed it is. Tony Bowe moves on to 16. Behind Benoit Bincaz and Adam Raga, who are both on 15. This really is astonishing. And Jaime Busto leads Extra Madrid. 5 ahead of Raga and Bincaz, 6 ahead of Tony Bowe. Can he convert that advantage with 2 sections remaining? Section 4. Crucial clean in section 2 from Jaime Busto. He's on a 10-mark tally. The other 3 riders failed all of the first 3. Busto, fastest of anyone in the outbound direction. This is about keeping clean. Made an early error last time out. In section 3 is about avoiding mistakes now. You don't get many opportunities to see Bowe making errors. Honestly, you'd say he's made a few, wouldn't you? First, that misjudgment of the course in section 1. Drop mark in section 4 is the latest. Fall in section 2 as well. So I think narrowly avoiding the mark for leaning there. Should be clean in section 4. We'll await confirmation. It is indeed a clean. So, 2/3 of the way through this grand final. Jaime Busto leads on 10. Adam Raga and Benoit Bincaz tied on 15 apiece. Tony Bowe behind them on 16. There is a tie-break section if it's required. I believe it's the wooden crates in the middle of the arena floor. Section 5. Very close scoring. 6 marks between the top 4, between the 4 finalists. Tony Bowe very carefully now checking the course. But has he allowed this whole situation to get under his skin? Now he's first up in section 5. So he doesn't even have the benefit of seeing his rivals before him as he comes into this one. Tony Bowe has made some great escapes before. Can he recover 6 marks against Jaime Busto? 2 remaining sections. Section 5. Both directions through the cable reels here. Tony Bowe is down for a 5. Early in section 5 as well. And that's it for his hopes of victory. Tony Bow is defeated in the opening round of 2024. 25, I should say. Was going to catch me out at some point this evening, wasn't it? Tony Bow suffers defeat in the first round of the new season. He cannot now catch Jaime Busto. 21 marks Bow score. It's between Busto, Bincaz and Raga for victory. An astonishing opportunity for Jaime Busto. Imagine if Bow were to finish fourth and Busto win the opening round of the season. What a boost for Jaime Busto this could be. Bow still has every chance of finishing second. Bincaz next up. Here goes. Section 5. Bincaz will be very cautious here where Tony Bow failed before him. Bincaz taking possibly too long on this step. You know it's the toughest one. Still got to get out and back. Almost half the time used already. Bincaz is down. 5 mark score for him as well. And uncomfortable viewing that. Like coming back, let's say exactly where he didn't want it to. 20 marks his score, 1 ahead of Tony Bow. If Raga fails this section and Busto makes it through, he's won Extra Madrid with a section to spare. 5 marks his lead coming into section 5. Bincaz has failed. Can Adam Raga take us to the last section? Penultimate section of this grand final. Big, big, big step here. Here he goes. Raga, 4 times world champion. 42-year-old veteran, looking for one last moment of glory. Last the winner in 2019. Still got a shot tonight, but a failure in section 5. Means he needs a miracle now. It does look as though Jaime Busto is going to wrap up Extra Madrid. He'll do it here if he makes it through section 5. If he fails, it will be up to his rivals not to fail section 6. Either way, Busto cannot be caught by Bow. What a stunning start to this season. Imagine 2 Sherkos on the podium and no Repsol Honda riders. Jaime Busto, this is for victory at Extra Madrid. Section 5, if he completes this one, which his 3 rivals have failed, Jaime Busto wins the season opener with a section to spare. This is the biggest moment of the night so far. First match point. Jaime Busto is down. We will go to the last section to decide Extra Madrid. Tony Bow already out of the running for victory, and it does look like it's a fight for seconds. Raga, Bincaz and Bow all separated by just a single mark. 5 marks back from Jaime Busto, Raga and Bincaz. If they drop any marks in section 6, Busto will have it sewn up. You would expect this extra to be settled before Busto comes out for section 6. It's all about damage limitation now for Tony Bow. The only rider to have beaten Bo at any X-Trial in the last 5 years is Jaime Busto. The man most likely to challenge him over the course of the season is Jaime Busto. And Busto has beaten him at X-Trial Madrid, regardless of what happens here. Bo chasing second against Raga and Bincaz. Section 6. First drop mark of the section for Tony Bo. Racing through. Central section to the arena floor. Outbound and return directions required, and Procter & regulation gives them some comfort over the whole season, but it is not a good way to start the 2025 season. He's taken a second mark now on observation. 2 marks for leading, 20 seconds to go. Bo's pressed here. We've seen this be a tough step back in Q1. Tony Bo has 10 seconds to make it. Bo is up, lands on the stump, that's 3 marks, and will that be another? Is that a failure for Tony Bo? If it is, it's 4th position tonight. We wait for confirmation of the results. It's a 3-mark score. Tony Bo narrowly avoids failure. Has he done enough now to steal his way back into second position? That last step there was marginal. It was a marginal call for the section observer. He was close to using the stump if he didn't. And it's slender margins. Tony Bo 24. But my goodness me, you could easily see both Bincaz and Raga failing this one. It's a tough one to finish the night. That return direction. We've already seen earlier on. Q1. Benoit Bincaz next up then. Failure here would drop him to 4th. If he gets through the section, he's guaranteed a 3rd consecutive podium. Benoit Bincaz. Brand new outbound direction for the grand final. Section 6 in Q1 was failed by everyone but Tony Bo, remember. So for Bincaz and Raga to beat Bo here, they've got to manage what they didn't earlier on. 1 mark for leading. It's going to be a tight finish in the battle for 2nd and 3rd. Benoit Bincaz rather, slips out of the section, too far forward, back tyre drops down and out of the course boundaries. Bincaz drops into 4th place. Finishing score of 25. Bo will be on the podium tonight. But my goodness, he's had to sweat it. 1 mark his margin over Bincaz. Adam Raga. If he gets through this section, it will be his first podium since 2023. 9 X-Trials without a podium finish. A failure will take him to a runoff against Benoit Bincaz. He makes it through his 2nd. If he fails, he's potentially 4th. Still with a shot at 3rd. Has Raga got 1 last trick up his sleeve? Best opportunity he's had for a podium for quite some time. He'll want to capitalise on it. Venue where he's twice been victorious, 2006 and 2007, Madrid. Palacio Vistalegre, where he was crowned world champion for the first time back in 2003. It's been a good ride from Adam Raga in section 6 thus far. The return direction is going to be the problem, that final step, and will he even have enough time here? Good on the landing. He's used more than half of the time. Still got that tough step in the return direction to come. It's worth taking a couple of marks. The 3-mark score's good enough for Raga. He needs to rush now, 15 seconds. He's not going to make it, I don't think. It's going to be a run-off. 5 seconds. There's not enough time for Adam Raga. The klaxon sounds and it's a failure in section 6 for Adam Raga. Tony Bow moves up into second place tonight. Crucial ride in section 6 from the world champion. And that settles it. Jaime Busto wins Extra Madrid, the 2025 season opener, with a section to spare. Busto on 15. Even a failure here would only leave him on 20. This is just for pride. Interesting to know what would have happened. Bover on 5 marks fewer at this point. Could have been, based on section 1. 40 seconds to go. Tie break for third still to come. Stoker is already settled. Then Kaz split for a podium place. Just more than half of the time used in the outbound direction by Jaime Busto. It's been a good ride from him this evening, capitalising on Bo's errors in this grand final. 15 seconds to go. Tough for him to make it by the looks of things. And it's a failure. So your finishing scores in the grand final. Jaime Busto 20. Wins Extra Madrid. Tony Bow 24 marks, finishes second. Adam Raga and Benoit Bincaz tied on 25 apiece. Busto doesn't mind that he failed at the last. Done enough to earn victory in Madrid tonight. So Adam Raga and Benoit Bincaz now want to take a look. Tie break section. I understand it will be the central section here. Those stacks of wood.
El podio del Trial de Madrid 2025. Vamos a ir, como no, con nada. Vamos a ver si acaba su carrera deportiva.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here. Tie break between Benoit Bincaz and Adam Raga. In the first instance, we're looking for penalty marks to split them. In the second instance, we'll be looking for time. Entirely possible that we could have both riders fail this section. And I believe we have to go again. Benoit Bincaz.
Acaban de hacer, que conocen bien cómo están.
tie-break runoff.
Posibilidad de ir por la variante.
Let's see what his finishing time is.
Para asegurar ese paso.
Sets the tone for Raga to match.
Y ahora la vuelta. Bonito volada, bonito vuelo. Desde ahí lo intenta y lo consigue.
Single drop mark there for Benoit Bincaz. That could be important. Bincaz is down. It's a 5-mark score for Benoit Bincaz and an opportunity for Adam Raga to return to the podium. Bincaz is devastated. But it's entirely possible that Raga could fail this section as well. And then the tie will not be broken. Raga needs to take his time now. He was the third seed to the grand final. He was third after Superpole. You'd have to say Raga deserves a podium tonight, and what a great story. At 42 years of age at the Palacio Vistalegre, where he was world champion for the first time in 2003, Adam Raga with an opportunity to get on the podium for the first time in 10 rounds. The 4 times world champion. You never lose the magic. First half of this race-off section completed successfully by Adam Raga. 30 seconds. Take your time. That's the key here. Raga's still clean. Another step to come. Adam Raga is back on the podium for the first time in 10 X-Trials. Superb from the 42-year-old veteran to beat his far younger Sherco teammate, and a moment of glory where it all began with the 2003 World Championship title for Adam Raga. An outstanding finish to the night. What a story. He's already retired from Trial GP. He's making his final appearances in open events and in the X-Trial World Championship, but this moment belongs to Adam Raga in Madrid, where he's twice been a victor, and where today a third place in the Spanish capital is undoubtedly a triumph in the latter stages of his career. What a performance from Adam Raga this evening. Superb in Q1. But the day belongs to Jaime Busto, taking the early championship lead, the winner of the opening round of this 2025 season. Confirmation of your result. Jaime Busto wins the grand final on 20 marks. Tony Bow, with 4 failures, including the opening 3 sections consecutively, finishes on 24. Adam Raga and Benoit Bincaz are marked behind Bow on 25, separated in dramatic fashion in that runoff. But your winner, taking an early lead over his World Championship rival for the 2025 season, is Jaime Busto.
Jaime, congrats for the win. The final has been very, very demanding, but you did great really from the first section of the X-Trial.
Yeah, I'm very happy to start the season like this. The first race, I stay a little bit nervous, but I'm very, very happy. I feel incredible with the bike, and only say thanks to the team.
Thank you very much. Congrats.
Thank you.
Jaime Busto, all smiles. His renewal with Gas was confirmed back in September for this 2025 season, and rather cryptically 2025 and beyond, I believe, was what was said. So it's a multi-year deal of some kind. X-Trial finishes with victory for Jaime Busto ahead of Tony Bow, Adam Raga and Benoit Bincaz, the top performers from the grand final. And then the rest of the classification is based on Q1. Marseille ahead of Haga, Peace and Gelabert at the bottom of the pile. So, your standings after the opening round of the season. A rare opening round defeat for Tony Bow, who will come to rue the unfortunate 5-mark score in Section 1. That's what's cost him victory tonight, and I'm sure he'll continue to discuss that long into the evening. But it's Jaime Busto who takes a 5-point series lead, and some glory for Adam Raga. The main shock of the night, Gabriel Marseille outside of the podium places. That only happened once last season. Marseille, a medal contender throughout the campaign. Haga, Peace and Gelabert out at the back tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 1
back at some of the action then from earlier on this evening. Jaime Busto with failures in sections 1, 3, 5 and 6, but it was a high-scoring grand final. All 4 riders finishing on over 20 marks, and this was the key. Section 2, a clean for Busto. That's where he made 5 marks on Bo. 4 marks in the end, his advantage. Bo pulling 2 back in section 6. First up onto the podium tonight is Adam Raga. Podium number 125 in his career. And boy, has he been chasing it for a while. His last podium, Extra Bordeaux in 2023 when he finished second. 9 rounds without making it onto the podium, and Adam Raga has done it tonight. Second place goes to Tony Bo. Defeat so rare. The only man who has beaten him over the last 5 years is Jaime Busto. The 5th victory of his career. Extra Paris 2018, Andorra la Vella 2022, Wiener Neustadt 23, Tallinn 25. And now the first round of the 2025 season. Tallinn 24, I should say. First round of the 25 season here in Madrid goes to Jaime Busto. It's all smiles for Adam Raga. You'd have to say he was close on a few occasions to a podium. This season just gone. Things just never seem to quite click for him. But he put in a good ride in Q1. And you'd have to say well deserving of his podium tonight. Key to Q1 for Adam Raga was the clean in section 1. Gabriel Marseille dropping a single mark through there, Benoit Bincaz dropping 3, allowing Raga to progress to the grand final. Second place to Tony Bo, win number 5 for Jaime Busto. Your podium trio, Raga, Bo and Busto at the opening round of the 2025 FIM Extra World Championship.
Escuchamos ahora, como siempre, el himno en honor al ganador, himno de España.
Jaime Busto on top at the opening round of the 2025 FIM Extra World Championship. Let's hope that that is a sign of things to come and that we do get a fight between him and Tony Bo throughout this season. Make no mistake, Bo wasn't far away from victory. Had section 1 gone his way, he made it to the exit gate, clean on observation. He hadn't correctly completed the course there, but otherwise he was a match for Busto and defeated him in section 6. So Bo will come again and stronger. Today belongs to Jaime Busto, and you'd say to Adam Raga. So pleased for him to have made it back onto the podium. Really was a battle in his first season with Sherco, just could never quite get the breaks, but he's got one here this evening. Raga, Bo and Busto, your first podium of 2025. That's just about all from Madrid. 7 rounds still to come, but first, season's greetings, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you in 2025.
Y sobre todo, pasarlo muy bien con cabeza. Y si podéis, en estas fechas,